You say that you want it bad enough. You say that you want to be the man. You want to be the champion. Well, how bad do you want it? How much are you actually willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to risk everything? Are you willing to lose everything? Even your health? Well, guess what? This man is willing to go all the way. This man is Justin Gaethje. But why have I decided to create a video about Justin Gaethje? Obviously, he is a phenomenal fighter, a great athlete, a great competitor. However, what truly inspires me about Justin Gaethje is his mental resilience. And as I've come to realize recently, being mentally strong beats physical strength every single day of the week, twice on Sunday. His wrestling is second to none. His kicks are devastating. His knockout power is more than impressive. However, what truly impresses me about Justin Gaethje is his ability to stay calm in the midst of chaos, to stay composed, collected, when his opponent is putting pressure on him, when he is hurt, when he's tired, when he's completely exhausted. His ability to get knocked down, but to stand up and keep on moving forward. That's what truly impresses me about Justin, his character and his composure. But how has this ability to shine under pressure been developed? It's very simple. Justin Gaethje has been wrestling ever since he was 4 years old. He's got about 200 wrestling matches in high school, and he was also a Division I All-American wrestler. That just shows you that this man has been competing throughout his whole life. He knows what it is to face opposition, to face another man, to beat and to dominate. When we speak about Justin Gaethje, it's not simply about winning. It's about outclassing, dominating, beating up the opponent. Why? Because this is the sport of wrestling. This is the mentality which wrestling built in Justin's mind. He's not going out there just to get the points, to get the win, to get his hand raised. No, he's there to beat up his opponent, not only physically, but also mentally. Every single time that Justin Gaethje enters the UFC octagon, he does it with vicious intentions. From the very first second of the fight, he's putting pressure, marching forward, aggressively, in a relentless manner, looking for the finish. It's not about winning, it's about dominating and destroying the opponent. But let's be real, Justin Gaethje is a phenomenal wrestler. He could probably beat most of his opponents just by wrestling with them. However, he wants to keep it standing. He wants to keep it on the feet. He wants to have a stand-up war, a battle, a bloody war. Why? Because he wants to entertain the fans. That's his main goal. And that's exactly the reason why all these fans love Justin Gaethje. So, in spite of being a high-level wrestler, Justin Gaethje refuses to engage in any kind of offensive wrestling exchanges. Why? Because he wants to keep it on the feet. He wants to keep it exciting. And hear that, most fighters avoid the scariest challenges. They stay away from the dangerous opposition. However, Justin Gaethje is always looking for the most dangerous, for the scariest challenge out there, for the most difficult opponent. Why? Because he loves fear, stress, and anxiety. These emotions, these fearful emotions, they wake him up, they rise him, they motivate him to wake up early, to train extremely hard in the gym, to prepare himself mentally for a bloody war. Justin Gaethje loves fear, anxiety, and pressure because they bring out the primal version of him. They bring out the best version, the competitor hungry to kill. So the physical preparation is very simple. It's about training and sparring hard. However, how does Justin Gaethje bring himself to a mental state where he's prepared to kill or be killed once he steps in the cage? Well, it's very simple. It's called reverse psychology. You have probably heard that many fighters speak about the importance of positive visualization. They try to visualize the fight before it has actually happened. They try to visualize a positive outcome. They try to see themselves winning, climbing the cage with the titles, with their hand raised. However, Justin Gaethje has a completely opposite approach. What he does is a negative visualization. He pictures himself being embarrassed, losing, being destroyed, being booed. He pictures all the negative scenarios, and then once he steps in the cage, he fights like a lion. Justin Gaethje is an extremely aggressive fighter, always putting pressure, always marching forward, always going for the finish. Also, Justin Gaethje is a fighter who knows how to stay composed, a man who is willing to get hurt, who is willing to get exhausted, because he knows that he can stay calm in these situations. So his greatest asset, apart from his physical attributes, is his ability to shine in the chaos, to shine under pressure. But what kind of person is Justin Gaethje in day-to-day life? As his coach Trevor Whitman states, Justin Gaethje is a hard worker whose work ethic is second to none. He's always willing to do more than he's actually asked to do. In addition to that, he's willing to sacrifice everything. As an example, Justin Gaethje did not have a girlfriend throughout the majority of his career, purely because he did not want to be distracted and he wanted to be fully immersed in the sport of MMA. You will never see arrogance from Justin Gaethje. He is always respectful, regardless of winning or losing. He always shows respect towards his opponents. Why? Because his opponents, just like him, are working extremely hard, putting a lot of work and effort into becoming champions. Justin Gaethje knows very well how much it costs, how much you have to sacrifice in order to reach that level and in order to participate in fights of that magnitude. This is why he is always respectful towards the other men chasing the same dream as him. Another admirable trait in Justin Gaethje's character is his willingness to help other people. Back in the day, after graduating from the University of Colorado, Justin Gaethje became a coach. He started helping all those young girls and boys who were preparing for wrestling tournaments. In addition to that, he often donates money to charity organizations. However, he never brags about it. At last, but not least, once he retires from MMA, once he stops competing in the sport of mixed martial arts, Justin Gaethje is willing to start helping children at risk. What do I mean? I mean children who have got serious issues, who are in big trouble. What Justin will do, he will help them to find the right path, the right direction in life. I truly believe that all of us as human beings have the moral duty of giving back to the people who created us, of taking care of our parents. And Justin Gaethje does exactly that. He takes care of his mother and father because now he is financially stable. Now he can afford to say to his parents, "You don't need to work anymore. You can relax. I'm in charge. Enjoy your years." Justin Gaethje managed to build a life not only for himself, but for his mother and father. And I truly respect that. But what kind of person was the young Justin Gaethje? Well, picture that. The University of Colorado. A very important exam is about to take place. Everybody is nervous. Everybody is anxious. You can feel the tension in the air. Then, all of a sudden, one guy cracks a joke and everybody starts laughing. Guess who that guy was? Justin Gaethje. So if you want to know who Justin Gaethje was, simply ask his classmates. They'll describe him as a guy who was always composed, always playful, a guy who knew how to deal with situations where everybody else would go crazy. And that's very funny, because now, as a fighter, it's exactly the same. Justin Gaethje shines under pressure. Where everyone else breaks, Justin Gaethje shines. I would describe Justin Gaethje as a polite, humble young man who is willing to help everyone, who is taking care of his family, and who is always supporting the people we need. However, make no mistake about it, that humble and polite man disappears once Justin Gaethje enters the UFC octagon. He becomes a savage once he enters that cage. He's aggressive from the very first second of the fight until the very last second of the fight. He's going there for the finish. He's not willing only to dominate, he's willing to destroy his opponent. It's not about winning, it's about breaking the opponent, both physically and mentally. As a conclusion, I would like to use this statement. There might be a tornado, an earthquake, a war, a tsunami taking place on the outside. However, I refuse to be emotional. I will be a stoic. I will be calm, collected, composed, and rational, regardless of the situation. Because that's my only choice. I cannot control the outside. I can only control the inside. And that's exactly what Justin Gaethje does once he enters that UFC octagon. He remains composed, calm, and collected, regardless of how exhausted he is, regardless if he's hurt or not. And that's a mentality which all of us need to develop. The mentality of accepting the outside and making sure that our inner strength is real.